Hello and welcome back to Hydroponics Daily, your go-to podcast for everything soilless cultivation. I'm your host, Dr. Russell Sharp, the founder of Utrema Limited. We make interesting fertilizers, novel biostimulants, and organic biopesticides. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk about two sad businesses that have gone out of business, filed for bankruptcy, and gone into liquidation. So whatever the actual financial official term is. The first one is an aeroponic company from Switzerland, and it's called CleanGreens. So they develop technology for aeroponics and large-scale aeroponic systems. And only recently did they, in early 2025, sign an investment agreement for 50 million Swiss francs, intended to provide the capital necessary to stabilize and expand operations. However, the investor ultimately failed to deliver on the promised funding, and without that financial support, the company was unable to execute its strategic plan and avoid over-indebtedness situation. So basically, they ran out of money. So they filed for bankruptcy, and there's going to be layoffs. So it's sad news for everyone employed there. I would imagine they'll try and sell their technology. I guess they're a competitor again with like Lettuce Grow and companies like that. So CleanGreens Solutions. They've gone from the hydroponic sector, another one to bite the dust. So unfortunately, and then a really surprising one. You might remember that I went on a tour of the Growy facility in Amsterdam, and so I was very impressed with their technological setup, but also the fact that they were not quite self-funded, but funded by a few investors. And then they were expanding to other locations around the world with local investment partners to set up farms and take the technology out there. So it was surprising to see that the Growy Singapore operation has gone into liquidation, because it's often said that Singapore has massive issue with importation of fresh produce, and the price of food is very high. And so it's one of the few places where vertical farmings can make money. And Growy Singapore had a 8,000 square meter vertical farm near Shanghai Airport. And it's gone into liquidation less than a year after its official opening, which was November last year. So that's really sad news. So let's look at the details of that. So the Growy company didn't actually set this farm up. It was actually set up by Calera International, a US-based vertical farming company that filed for bankruptcy themselves and sold its overseas operation. So they took over the farm and received some government grants from the Singapore government, but they couldn't attract enough local investment and strategic partners. So ultimately it wasn't profitable and they succumbed to debt. So it was the most advanced farm in the region, but just the costs even then were just too high and inefficient, which is sad to hear. Growy continues their farm in Amsterdam, and it's operating successfully, and it's a highly automated and energy efficient system. So hopefully they can expand into other areas, and this is a blip in the expansion of Growy, and hopefully a blip in the adoption of hydroponics in Singapore, which of all the countries around the world, Singapore seems to be the most open for adopting new agricultural techniques, and especially vertical farming and hydroponics. Per capita, there seems to be so many hydroponic companies there. It's crazy. So really sad, because the sort of vertical farming commercially really did sort of take off in Singapore. It's one of the very first countries to look at vertical farming. So sad to see a farm go out of business. On tomorrow's episode, I'm going to be talking about cold tolerance, especially cold roots, and a new cold-tolerant tomato variety that's been bred in Spain, which seems crazy because you'd think it'd be bred in, Siberia or northern Canada. But let's have a look at that one tomorrow. That's been Hydroponics Daily for today. If you thought this was interesting, if at all slightly sad, then please do give an Apple Podcast review, because it helps the podcast tremendously. If you're not on Apple, don't bother leaving a review. Just click follow, and also check out utrema.co.uk, because if you're looking to boost yields in your hydroponic system, we've got a whole range of biostimulants and amazing fertilizers for use in hydroponics that you won't find anywhere else. You won't find any comparable technology anywhere else in hydroponics, anywhere close to this. So please check that out. Thank you very much for listening to my garbled message and episode today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.